Welcome, guys. This is Casey is Wrong, and we are going to talk about wrestling. And today, I have D Rose. How you doing, D Rose?
Uh, Same day or different day, same shit. Same shit,
Yeah,
different day.
I know about that. I appreciate you being on the call today. It's very short notice, but had a couple ideas. You didn't want to do the Stone Cold idea, but I did that separate. So I want to talk about this year Hall of Fame and maybe the Hall of Fame in general. So I was first. I really thought it took. Usually they have the whole list of Hall of Fame. They'll start like what around the Royal Rumble, maybe after Elimination Chamber, and they'll start hammering one after each week.
Usually it starts the night after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then uh and they'll either hammer one or two one every week or 2 weeks or whatever. But this one it just kind of took forever. They announced the Undertaker, and then there's all that rumor about him going in solo, and I was okay with that because if they had a bunch of people up there, you know, talking stories about him like for a couple hours, and then at the very end he shows up. I'm okay with that. What do you think about that?
It's it is whatever.
Well, I think like certain superstars should get that treatment, like The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, John Cena, The Rock, and
Cena will be in the Hall of Fame eventually, even though now that his contract is expired and it's been expired for over a year. I'm kind of
yeah.
surprised he hasn't been inducted already, honestly.
Mm, well, it's hard. The two people is really hard to get scheduled for anything. Is not only John Cena, is the other person is The Rock. And you know both of them likes doing stuff for the WWE. Just they're always busy making movies or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
But
is John Cena making Vince any money doing movies though, or
no, this is on his own. I
yeah, I
mean,
didn't think Vince was making money anymore off of Cena or The Rock.
well, they're probably making money off merchandise, and then they probably have to send that their cut to them, you know.
Well, yeah, they'll have their royalties. Yeah,
Yeah, but as I'm pretty sure, Cena and the now definitely the Rock has no ties to WWE. They don't get no slice of the pie right now. And I mean, and you know what? I'm feeling that's why we don't have as big superstars today because anyone who gets really over, like super over, they go to Hollywood. So
not all of them. A few of them did, but not all of them.
I mean, a lot of them migrate. I mean, yeah, Hogan wasn't great. I mean, there was a couple that was okay, like Mr. Nanny. And was it the Urban? Was it called the Urban Commando or something like that, where he's like dressed in metal? But
I don't really watch really that many movies.
I'm shocked you didn't know about that. But uh, well, and then you got Vader, and I felt Vader should have been inducted before he passed away. They took. I don't know why they waited like a couple years after he passed to induct the guy.
Don't know.
I mean, yeah, his health was going down, and I heard that he had 2 years to live, and then it was about time frame when he finally passed, and like, I mean, what's with WWE waiting for people to croak to bring them in? I'm wondering if they're scared. If they bring them alive, maybe they're afraid they're going to say something controversial up there, and they only have a little bit of time to edit it or cut it out there, you know?
No idea. Probably not. I don't know.
Great feedback, Rose. But I mean, like China, I mean, took them until she passed to be inducted, and she didn't go in by herself. She's in as the X, and she definitely deserve to be inducted solo too.
Well, you know why. You already knew why they did it to China. The only reason
Well,
she was inducted in the first place was because she was part of the original DX.
yeah, but she also had a solo career.
Yes, but she didn't get inducted because Stephanie didn't like her, and because of that bit of a porno career that she had. They made that known. That's why she was never inducted by herself, and she's never going to be inducted by herself. So yeah, I was talking about why China didn't get on her own, and that's when
Yeah.
you froze and disconnected. I said that Stephanie doesn't like her,
Yes.
and it was that little bit of that porno career that China did was one of the reasons that they weren't gonna induct her.
I think that's a bad reason because I mean a lot of those other Hall of Famers have worse uh history than she did. Like even though not Superstar, Superfly was inducted, he's pulled out because the whole murdered by Sonny. I mean, how many times she gets arrested like 2, 3, 4 times a year, and then she did porno, but they still recognize her as a Hall of Famer.
Well, I know she did it after, like long after she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. China was doing it while she was still with the company.
Well, no, she did it after when well, with the whole thing with Stephanie, yes, and Triple H, but the porno was way after, and I mean, drug stuff and the alcohol. I mean, they got way worse people who they induct all the time. I mean, the biggest person I don't want to, I feel like should be taken out immediately. Should be Adula the Butcher for a kind of douchebag he is, where he spreaded hepatitis to other people. And then, he never fought for the WWF. He fought for WCW and other promotions, but not for for WWF. And the other person I want to see kicked out is Carlos Colon, because the whole thing with his partner was involved. He's actually the guy who killed Bruiser Brody, and he was on the inside about that whole thing. And I feel having Carlos Colon as a slap to the face of the family of Bruiser Brody. So I feel like those two people need to be kicked out.
I'm not even familiar with either of them, so I have no comment one way or the other.
Well, they're all wrestlers. But yeah, I was trying to get to Vader because Vader, well, he definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, yes, he wasn't the WWF champion. He should have been. but he was the WCW champion. He's well known in Japan, and it sucks what his career was in the WWF.
Well, they also took his WCW run into consideration since, Vince bought them and all.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, usually, they induct, um, Vern Gagne, who owned AWA, and they had a bad blood between them. But because AWA was such a good promotion, they recognized the guy. So, and like Nick Bockwinkel, he was the AWA champion many times, and the only other promotion I know he was part of was WCW as a figurehead. But he was like a Ric Flair type of guy. He was kind of like Ric Flair plus with, you know, like if you add Dave Rose, the whole his vocabulary. But yeah, Vader should have went in when he was still alive. It just sucks they waited till
especially
he
once,
died.
especially once that news came out that he had not long to live. They should have put him in to let him actually celebrate it before he died.
I agree. But I know one thing WWE does where they do not, like, if you look like shit, if your health is going down, like when Bobby the Brain Heenan was having, was it jaw cancer or throat cancer? He looked like hell. He looked horrible. WWE didn't invite him to anything because the way he looked. Instead of just honoring the guy got in the Hall of Fame, but the guy still wanted to do stuff with the WWE. It's just all they care is what the person looks like. If they look like shit and their health is going down, oh, they don't want to be associated with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very shallow. But yeah, they really should inducted Vader
What they need to
when
do
he
is
was.
they need to stop putting celebrities in there that have nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
if they
yeah.
show up once or twice,
Hmm.
like maybe put Pete Rose in there because that was kind of
Yes,
iconic with him and Kane.
I
But
agree.
but the one moment that Drew Carey had in the Royal
Yes.
Rumble with Kane, he didn't need to be in the Hall of Fame for that.
No, he just showed up and offered Kane money, and then he dumped. That's
He
not a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, he dumped himself out of the ring after that.
Yeah. I was like, what? I would honestly eliminate the whole celebrity ruling. I mean, Mr. T, yeah, I can see maybe him. But a lot of those other celebrities, I really don't think so. And I wouldn't doubt it. We'll get announced of a celebrity being inducted this year.
Didn't we already have a celebrity inducted yet?
This year, no.
Oh, okay.
Um, the next person I don't really think should be inducted at all because this woman very rarely did anything is Queen Charmel.
Yeah, definitely not. She was just Booker T's wife and manager. She
Yeah,
didn't
I mean,
wrestle.
no, not at all. She was just an arm piece. And yeah, I think she was actually a Nitro girl for
Was she?
WCW. I believe so.
Well, even then, that doesn't mean you get into the Hall of Fame for being a fucking dancing girl.
Yeah. I mean, she only did that. Nitro girl, she was Queen Charmel, and he was King Booker. I loved King Booker back in the day, by the way. And honestly, I thought Booker T went in too early, but I learned that he definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. But like I said, I thought he went in too early. But yeah, and then she went back to she went to TNA, but I mean they're not going to recognize that. So to me, that was I don't know why they're inducting her.
I don't understand it either.
It's just stupid. It's probably we gotta have one woman be inducted. Then I got one for you. What about Miss Elizabeth?
What about her?
She needs to be inducted.
Why?
She was the first woman of wrestling. She was uh, yeah, she wasn't a wrestler, but she was like I don't even think Macho Man would have been the same without without Miss Elizabeth. I mean, you didn't have a God, what they call the arm piece? I forgot. Arm candy. Uh,
Valet.
Valet. Yeah, she was pretty much the first valet you really thought of. So, I think she heavily should have been in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why you weren't thought of. I mean, she definitely deserves it.
Well, I mean, that's before my time, so I don't know any of that. So
Well, I figured you gotta know about Miss Elizabeth, though. I mean, she had a huge history with Macho Man. But Queen Charmel, no, she doesn't deserve it. I hate to say that. I don't feel it at all. I feel that this is a bad move. And then they announced recently for the Warrior Award is God, what's
Shad,
his
Shad
chat?
Gaspard.
Yeah, and I'm happy they at least did it this year. Now, I mean, they should have done it last year.
Well, they
I,
couldn't just give it to him last year because they had already given to the award for somebody else before he died.
well, he died in 2020. I mean,
I thought it was last year.
no, he died in 2020, and people wanted him to be inducted for 2021. But you know what? It's better late than never, so I'm okay with that. He does definitely deserve it. I mean, his career, no, but what he done for saving his kid and taking his life, he definitely deserve it at the Warrior Award.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he's done other things too.
he's really known for Crime Time. I mean, I really don't know what he done after he left WWE.
No, I meant like he's done other things to deserve the Warrior Award. The
Well,
Warrior Award has nothing to do with wrestling.
no, and that's kind of like I feel like inducting people for the Warrior Award. I think they shouldn't do that though. They should get the Warrior Award, yes, but being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm gonna get heat for this, but the little cancer kid, Connor the Crusher. I mean, the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm glad they're honoring the kid. I'm glad they're honoring these people.
If
But
that wasn't a kid, he wouldn't have been inducted. They did it for his parents and his family.
yeah, definitely, and made WWE look good too. Good PR.
So how long do you think until Vince inducts Nicholas into the Hall of Fame for winning the tag titles of Braun Strowman at that
Oh,
WrestleMania?
never. Because, well, I mean, Braun Strowman's fired, and they're not gonna. No one's gonna remember Nicholas. I had until you said that. I was like, who the fuck is Nicholas? then I was like, oh yeah, that kid. But I mean, with Braun Strowman gone, I mean, no, definitely not. But do you feel like these Warrior Award winners should be in the Hall of Fame?
Probably not, because like I said, the Warrior Award doesn't really have much of anything to do with wrestling.
I agree. I mean, that's like getting a Hall of Fame spot in baseball, but you give it to some cancer kid. It's like, well, you're in the Baseball Hall of Fame under uh Nolan Ryan Award, but but I'm glad they're at least inducting him because he was a good father of what he did. But that's sad. And then today they announced the Steiner Brothers are being inducted.
Yeah, I just saw the tweet on. I just saw the tweet on Twitter. Iron Sheik posted about it.
Yeah, it has been a rumor for a while. It was a leak. It got leaked out. Not only the Steiners were going to be inducted, but also Vader. So both of those were right. But I feel Steiners definitely needs to be inducted. They
Well,
were good.
yeah, they've had even like singles and between their singles and tag team careers.
Yeah. Well, mainly Scott had a great solo career in WCW. He had a shit run in WWE, but he didn't. Well, they took him immediately from hiring him and putting him in the main event with Triple H, not giving him a little time to get to WWE shape, the way they want to wrestle. And by the time he was done fighting with Triple H back, I think it was 2002, 2003 ish, it was Steiner did not look good during those two matches. But he might be one day in Hall of Fame by himself because of his WCW career, but they definitely deserve to be coming as a tag team.
Well, Steiner Scott never gave a shit about the Hall of Fame and all the shit he's talked about it over the years. I
Yeah.
think he just gave in this year so that his brother could get his spot in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, not only that, for his nephew, who's now in NXT, was it
Yeah,
from?
that too.
So
They literally just need to call him Steiner. Like, come on, man.
I agree. I
Ron
mean,
Breakers, call him fucking Steiner. Even
I
if you
think
don't use Rex, just call him Steiner at least.
maybe they just don't. He wants. Maybe it was him wanting to be on his own and not be tied to the family. I mean, some people need to break away from that. I mean, Charlotte Flair uses the Flair name, and yeah, right now it's okay. She went with Charlotte by herself for a while, and it was just only recently they tacked on Flair. But people knew that she was Ric Flair's daughter,
Yep.
so I can see why. I mean, it would give him a better chance not be stuck behind the shadow of not only his father and be, behind his uncle.
I think if he used the Steiner name, I think he'd be more over.
He's I think he's pretty over right now in NXT 2.0. But I don't watch 2.0.
I don't either.
I mean, I didn't watch a lot of
Fuck.
Damn, Rose. But I mean, during the AWA, not the AEW, I mean, versus NXT, I was really watching AEW over NXT.
So was I.
So, but that's pretty much it. I mean, do you feel like we'll finally have a physical Hall of Fame?
No.
You think it'll stay imaginary? There'll be no full house. I mean, here's the one thing. I had an idea. This is one day when I did the video by myself, talk about the Hall of Fame. I have a suggestion. You know how they're moving into a bigger headquarters?
Yeah.
Think about this. They could reuse the current headquarters that they have so much stuff at their warehouse. Imagine if they put like the first 2 or 3 floors full of, you know, memorabilia and, plaques and stuff like that on the wall, and then like floor 4 or 5, you put a sheet of glass where you can view McMahon's office, Triple H's office, a few other people's office, and they'll still make money, and you can actually go visit an actual Hall of Fame and look at
So you're saying they should turn Titan Tower into a museum for WWE?
Yes.
I don't know how well that would work though, because a lot of people obviously know wrestling is, I don't want to say fake, but like predetermined.
Yeah. So
So I don't know. Like, I think some people would think that that's making a mockery of actual Hall of Fame museums, like
I don't.
Cooperstown.
I don't think so, because when I was living in Pennsylvania, they had this flea market, two floors, and the top floor had like a bunch of, it was a wrestling museum, and I actually showed a bunch of pictures on that video that I'd done from it, and it was cool looking at some memorabilia. I think some of them was fake, but a lot of them was real though too. But I think it'd be badass looking at like, people's wardrobes, or like props from shows and previous WrestleManias and stuff like that.
I mean, they could do that, but I don't think Vince will. I mean, it could be a good idea. It would be a way for, Vince to draw in money. But look what he did with WWF New York. That place made some money, but he closed that place down after like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but I think they were like it was a failed experiment, though. I mean, they were probably paying way too much rent in Manhattan doing that. And they're like, screw it. Hey, you know what? If let's say the restaurant was still open, then that would be a good, cool place to do it. But honestly, you would have to rope it off so people don't go and steal or touch the stuff. And you could double dip. You could look at the memorabilia and the Hall of Fame, and then you can go eat.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
But I mean, I think people would go to Manhattan a lot more than going to Connecticut. I mean, people go to New York all the time. You'll always have people come in. So, but I mean, I would love to see it, but I would hate to see the old WWE F Titan Towers turn into a different company's building, or God, imagine they tear that thing down.
I was thinking they'll probably just tear it down because Vince owns the building, doesn't he?
He probably would just sell it. I mean, why tear it down when you can make money selling it to like a
Well,
company?
I don't know. Vince is Vince. Why does he do half the shit he does?
Yeah, good point. I mean, but yeah, I would like to see a physical Hall of Fame. When I went to WrestleMania X7, the Access, it was their second Access they did. Their third fan festival. But they had a Hall of Fame plaques. And, they had like Andre the Giant's boots. I still have those pictures somewhere, but I don't. I told this story before. I had pictures at Access, but my brother's best friend I went with, he was supposed to take pictures and give me copies at WrestleMania, and it's been over 25 years. Well, no, WrestleMania 17 was
21 years.
21 years. So over 21 years, I still got those copies, and I'm sure some people are like, "Oh, sure, you went to X7," I'm like, I live in Oklahoma. I mean, the one of the reasons is because it's in Texas. I mean, it was 8 hours from me, but if I'm going to travel, at least if it's close to, like in my tri-state area, I'm going to at least give it a shot,
Yeah.
But with this year's access being canceled, that sucks because I enjoyed looking at the memorabilia. Then go and stand in line to get a fucking autograph.
Yeah. They're paying hundreds of dollars for one autograph.
It's not, well, that's if you go to, I guess it's called WrestleCon. Then yes, you're paying money. A lot of times when you're at access, unless you're paying for the get to meet the bigger ones, then yes. Like if you're gonna get Undertaker's or Stone Cold's autograph, yeah, you're paying a little bit. But if you're gonna get like the mid card people, they're free. You just gotta wait in line.
Oh, really? I thought everybody charged like at least
No,
$100.
no, and it's the WWE who charges that, not them personally.
Well, yeah, because it's their event, so
Yeah,
they want to make money on it.
yeah, and they'll be like they'll get, and I think you get tickets to the bigger legends to get autographs. But it sucks because I learned my lesson at X7 to go look at the memorabilia than stand in fucking line to get a damn autograph.
And a lot of these mid carders today in WWE, they're not going to amount to anything, anyways.
Well, it's because they it's Vince. They really need Vince needs to just retire and let Stephanie and Triple H take it over. And it looks like, the whole thing with Triple H, he was really just, yeah, he's back at the office, but he's, with his heart failure, I assume you've seen that interview they did where he retired. He announces pretty much his retirement.
I didn't watch the interview, but I saw the news about it.
Well, he was talking about how bad his heart was, that he was down to one of his valves was clogged up, I guess, to the point where he was going to have what's called the Widowmaker. Like, he was about on death's door, apparently. And now he has the defibrillator, where try and pronounce it, defibrillator in his chest.
A pacemaker, you mean?
No, not a pacemaker. Defibrillator. He said that, and it's in his chest, where if his heart's like acting up, it's going to give him a shock.
Oh.
But his health was in bad shape. And
So when do you think Triple H gets inducted? You think next year? Or the year after?
I think he deserves it,
I mean,
honestly.
technically he's been inducted once, obviously, already.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
think
but
he gets inducted by him? When do you think he gets inducted by himself?
oh gosh, sometime in the next 5 years. Easily. And if he, God forbid, let's say he dies this year, God forbid, then it'll be the very next Hall of Fame.
I think he'll be in next year's Hall of Fame anyway.
You think so?
Well, yeah, because look at The Undertaker. He retired last year, and he's in this year's Hall of Fame.
Yeah. No, I didn't. He retired the year before. I mean, yeah,
He retired technically after the Boneyard match, but he didn't officially announce it until near the end of 2020. So pretty much like last year.
Yeah, good point. I mean, you knew the way that Boneyard match was filmed. They made it look like, yep, this is it, I mean, him riding off, it looked like it was it. And, Triple H didn't say, I'm retired. He just said, I'm done. And he can't wrestle, so that's why everyone's saying he's retired.
Well, yeah, saying I'm done usually means, yeah, I'm retired.
Yeah. But he really can't ever wrestle again. It's not like a Daniel Bryan situation where he could get better. There's no way he's coming back.
Well, Casey, I guess we did what we needed to set out and accomplish here. I need to get to my recording and then eat my dinner. So
yeah. So thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
I miss sitting down and chatting with you. We need to try to get together again.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we just need a schedule. I mean, a lot of times when Drew is like, "Hey, we got this," I think if we just gotta stick to a schedule. But I also like to try to get some content out there. I like to try to have 2, 3, even 4 videos in the can, so I don't feel like I'm going with a day or two without any content. But that's pretty much it for the Rose. I'm Casey, and I'll see your ass down the road.
If you're gonna steal something, at least say it right.
What? Okay, how does it work?
Well, I guess I'm gonna sign off for Casey. So, for Casey's Raw, my name is The Rose, and until next time, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch your ass down the road.
All right.